President Biden's thrown open the border, but somehow DHS Secretary, get this, Alejandro Mayorkas, now telling ICE agents he's actually an immigration hardliner. During a virtual town hall last week with ICE personnel, Mayorkas reportedly said this, quote, "I'm 100% opposed to the abolition of ICE. I think we need to strengthen our policies and practices and communicate more effectively with what we do and why we do it." He also took on sanctuary cities who won't work with ICE. Joining us now is Tom Homan, former acting ICE director. Is your head spinning, Tom?
Yeah, my head's spinning, but, I don't believe a word he says. Like, he's the same person that says the border's closed, the border's secure, there's not a crisis, and we all know differently. So, actions speak louder than words. Just the sanctuary cities issue, Brian. 3 weeks ago, the administration dropped a lawsuit that we had against sanctuary cities. So to drop the lawsuit, try and hold sanctuary cities accountable, to drop that lawsuit, then all of a sudden say, well, we're going to fight sanctuary cities. Look, they're speaking on both sides of their mouth. Actions speak louder than words.
They say that there's gaps in the wall. The roads that were made are now being used by smugglers. You guys made the wall to help move in and out quickly, along with technology. And now, the deputy, when you knew him, he was deputy secretary. But now he's saying that maybe we'll fill those gaps in the wall. That was in the Washington Times today. I kind of believe him because he's responsible. The vice president is not showing up to take over. The president doesn't know how to get there. So he knows at one point it's fell into his lap. He can't keep on giving us the Heisman as a country. Do you expect him to grab some pieces of wall and put it up?
I hope he does, because it'd be the right thing to do, because walls work. Every place they built a wall, illegal immigration has declined, illegal drug flow has declined. Walls save lives, and walls will help with the current crisis on the border. But this is the same person who said that the reason they changed ICE priorities, talking about ICE, they took 90% of their priorities away. So 90% of the criminal aliens they arrested last year, they can't arrest this year because they're no longer on the table, right? And he said in the same meeting, and that had to be done because of lack of resources, limited resources. Let me be clear. There's no lack of resources. In FY12, ICE removed 409,000, arrested and removed 409,000. They're on track this year to remove 65,000. So they're doing 1/16 of the work. I mean, 65,000 compared to 409,000. They had 52,000 people in detention. Now they got 14,000. ICE officers have nothing to do. They're sitting around. So don't say there's lack of resources. You have crippled them. There are plenty of ICE officers willing and able to go out and arrest criminal aliens if you would let them.
Tom, what did you see real quick at the border that was different this time than any other time when you were served? Because you've been down there a couple of times now.
Because I talked to a lot of Border Patrol agents, and they're American patriots, and every one of them I talked to has lost total respect in our president, our commander-in-chief, because he fails to recognize that this is a crisis. It was preventable. His transition team was briefed this was happening. They did it anyways, and he knew what he was doing. He made all his promises during the campaign. He knew this would cause a surge. They lost respect in the secretary, who refuses to call this a crisis, saying it's secure and it's closed. Because these Border Patrol agents are working 24/7. They're getting sick. They're working vast amounts of overtime. They're taking sicknesses home to their own family. And the administration keeps saying, well, this policy, it's a giving policy. Let me tell you something. The only kindness I saw on the border was the Border Patrol agents, the way they treated these children and families. They treat them with utmost respect and dignity. And that's the only compassion I saw was the Border Patrol agents, the men on the front line showing compassion. This administration's open borders policies show no compassion because 18,000 families have chosen to put their kids in the arms of criminal cartels to enter this country illegally. That is not compassion. That is dangerous, and it's just stupid. It's to say that loving parents send their kids to the border, which the secretary said, wrong. Loving parents don't put their kids in the arms of criminal cartels.
They don't. There's no doubt about it. And even though we have a big heart for the kids, I have no patience for the parents. Tom Homan, if people want to solve the crisis, you'll pick up the phone if you call, and you'll do it for free. And you've been there, and you know how to beat it in 2021 like you've done in years past. Tom, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, Brian.